Good evening and welcome back, ladies, gents and Pikachus. This is a personal response to PitchBlack0000, also known as Loner. That's his screen name, but I'm going to use PitchBlack because I feel like I don't want to call this guy Loner constantly. So he replied to a comment that I made after watching or claiming to watch my video about atheism. And he said, "I can prove every single thing you've said to be wrong." This is obviously a lie. So I was going to point by point go through his comment until I realised he'd give me 15 really rambling points, and the video that I made like that ran to 40 minutes. No one is going to watch 40 minutes of me answering rambling with further rambling, so I decided I'm going to concatenate it all down into this video and make 3 basic points. This is to you, Mr. Pitchblack. The first point is this: you are an atheist and a flat earther. Keep that in mind while you listen to my rebuttal. Atheism is a theology, even though you claim that it is not. Atheism has its own theology and Flat Earth has its own theology. Flat Earth is at odds with atheism, so that means you are at odds with yourself. I am not at odds with myself. My Christian theology lines up perfectly with my life experience and the evidence that I have seen, which I had responsibility on myself to find. I didn't ask you to prove God to me or not. When I was an atheist, which I was for my first 33 years of existence, I didn't put the onus on you or anyone else. I was responsible for finding that evidence, and while I was going around saying God's not real, God is nowhere, and I shall prove this to the world, which was my previous career, by the way, I was very successful at it, I took the responsibility upon myself to go and find the evidence that God wasn't real. And after 12 years of having looked for that, guess what happened? I found that God was real. So I had to toddle back to my Facebook page and my website and end a very successful career as a mouthy atheist by saying I was wrong. And of course, mostly the 10,000 people that followed me very loyally turned 180 degrees and went the other way. And I knew this was going to happen, so it wasn't a comforting whatever it was you called it. It was absolutely a bomb it destroyed my career. I had to rebuild my whole personality, career and life from scratch. Why was I willing to do that? When I was in your position, maybe slightly more successful than you are, I was an atheist with nothing but ChatGPT scripts and Google and Wikipedia as my evidence. Because I found something true and meaningful. And it gave rise to a belief that the world has purpose. The world is not just a random occurring plane of existence filled with evil people doing bad things and then you die, which is what I had previously believed when I was a vegan atheist lefty, probably like you are. So how is it comforting to go from that, earning a lot of money off the back of it, to saying I was wrong, I found God, I can't show you the evidence, but I can tell you how to find it? So that's your first point. Well, your first 4 points actually disproven. Then you moved on to the cat example. You said, this is how claims work. I can't prove that cats don't exist, but what I can do is produce a cat and then say cats are real. So your presupposition is that seeing is believing. Yes, that's what you're suggesting? Only we know that AI is a thing. We know that optical illusions are a thing. We know that sleight of hand and parlour magic is a thing. So actually seeing is not believing. Many people see things and then later find out that what they saw isn't what they thought. So observation is not truth. And we know this from science. For instance, photons. Photons are real, but you can't see a single photon. So if you saw a single photon, you'd say you were looking at nothing. But that would be a lie because you're looking at a single photon. It's just your observable vision doesn't pick that up, despite the fact that it's there. Despite the fact that it's true, you can't detect it and you have no evidence for it. So that says something about evidence. Sometimes evidence is more difficult to locate than just having a casual look. I suppose that brings me to my next point. If I made the claim that cats are real, and then I held up my hand with nothing in it and said, but I couldn't be bothered to go and find a cat, does that prove that cats aren't real? Because that's what you're doing. You're holding up God and saying, God's not real, look, I didn't find him. It just means that you couldn't be bothered to find the evidence. Like I made... In fact, both of those points, the flat earth thing, I have a video called Flat Earth Evidences when I make 25 videos, 4.5 hours of content, demonstrating why gravity is real, showing you the evidence, showing you the experiments, going through all the logical fallacies that flat earthers like to bring and squashing them all flat. And as a final gift to you all, I offer £1,000 for anyone who in a 5-minute video can just explain the mechanics of how things work, how objects drop in freefall, without using Newtonian forces and gravity. I will give you £1,000 in cash if you can do that. That was 6 months ago. Nobody has collected that money so far. It runs until the 5th of November this year. Nobody will collect that money because they cannot. There is no way to prove that gravity is not real when I can prove with simple experiments like dropping this on the floor that gravity is real. If I let go of this, I can predict it's going to collect speed in this direction, and then when it hits something solid, it's going to stop and be at rest. That's because I know gravity is going to pull it down. It predicts, and we observe that prediction being valid and accurate. Whereas flat earthers saying gravity is not real, you now have to explain how that happens without using gravity. And the 3 applicants to my £1,000 challenge all had to use gravity in order to prove that gravity wasn't real, thus enlightening us that they don't have the slightest idea how science works. And that is you, my friend, if you're a flat earther. And that is you, my friend, in terms of God. Just because you can't be bothered to do the legwork to go and find that evidence doesn't mean it doesn't exist. In the same way that if I hold up an invisible cat and say, well, I couldn't be bothered to get a real one, it doesn't prove that cats don't exist. All it proves is that I am lazy. So, flat earth, no. Cats, yes. God, yes. But you have to find the evidence for yourself. And I will link you the video at the end where I explain how you can do that. So that brings me on to my final point. If you're so sure that atheism is quite fine for you and you're happy with it, why did you appear on my page when I don't know who you are, with this very rude, lengthy, rambling comment trying to prove to me that my theology is wrong? Surely if atheism and flat earth was good enough for you, that was a truth that you had found and you were happy with it, you'd be over there enjoying it all on your own. You wouldn't be over here battling against my theology, my beliefs, would you? Because I noticed you didn't turn up and say you should be an atheist and a flat earther, here's the evidence. All you did is turn up and say your evidence doesn't count, your opinions are wrong, you're a liar, you're mad, you're presupposing everything, your faith is wrong. So my faith really bugs you, doesn't it? That's the real objective truth here. The reason you turned up on my page with your big long rambly comment isn't because you believe in your thing, it's because you're envious, bitterly jealous that I have something that you don't feel that you can have access to. Only you can. You absolutely can. All you need to do is take responsibility for finding that evidence yourself and actually do the legwork to go and find it. And I've even given you instructions on how to do that. Now it's just up to you to get off your backside and actually do it. But I'm not turning up on your page telling you should be a Christian. Have you noticed that? I wasn't evangelizing. I wasn't proselytizing you. You were here doing that to me. But all of your arguments fell completely flat. Not a word of what you said had any logic or rhyme or reason to it, and I wasn't convinced. But unlike you, I am not envious and bitter. I don't want to convert you to my way of thinking. I just would like you to be more content and happy with your life so that you don't have to produce these horrible, rude, rambly comments to complete strangers, accusing them of lying and making out that their life experience doesn't count just because you weren't there to witness it. I think I've said all I need to say now. In conclusion, if you want to know a truth, any truth, don't put the onus on proving that truth to you on me, because I might not care about you, or I might be maliciously against you, in which case I will hide that evidence from you and I will lie to you so that you stop looking for it. But if you are a person that desires truth and has the courage to actually look for it, you won't be deterred by liars, hypocrites, or other miscreants who want to deceive you. You won't be conned by the flat earth. You will go and find the evidence for yourself. You will do those experiments. You will find that stuff for yourself. And then you won't need me, or Facebook, or YouTube, or Richard Dawkins, or the flat earth. You will have truth, and it will mean something to you. It will give purpose to your existence and meaning to the world. And then you will be happy, rather than bitter and envious like you appeared in your comments. So I hope you've understood what I've said. I am always here to talk to. If you want to have any I'll have a live stream discussion with you if that's the way you roll. But please keep your rudeness in check. I'm not here as an emotional punching bag for you in your bitter, bad mood. I'm trying to help you discover truth here, the way that I did. So you can either take my advice and do something with it, go and search for that truth and discover it, or you can continually believe that just because I'm holding up no cat, that no cats exist, which is what you're currently doing. So that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. God bless you all, and I'll see you lovely people in the next one. Bye now. So there you have it. Not the answer that you maybe wanted, but it is the answer that I'm going to give you. So I hope you took that on board and that you find that truth for yourself. Stop putting the onus on me, and then you'll be happy. That's all for now. God bless you all. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.